Joining us now for more is one of those 6 Democrats who voted with Republicans to reopen the government, Congressman Adam Gray, who represents part of California's Central Valley. Thank you so much for your time, Congressman. Your name wasn't on the radar to vote yes. Why the yes vote?
Well, actually, didn't support shutting down the government in the first vote. I abstained from that and was concerned about a government shutdown. And it became pretty clear during this government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history, that the president and the Republican majority were, really comfortable putting the most vulnerable Americans at risk with the SNAP program and some of these other important funding programs. So it just felt immoral, frankly, to continue with it. And the fact that the Senate was able to negotiate a deal that took those people out of the middle, that actually funded those programs for a year, and gave us an opportunity over the next 60 days to try hammer out a solution to this healthcare crisis. And obviously, in Washington, where government shutdowns seem to happen over and over and over again, there's always another opportunity at the end of January. But for the time being, I think we've done some good things for federal employees, for people on food assistance and veterans and others.
Give us the behind the scenes. Is there a roll call? Do you call up Hakeem Jeffries and say, hey, I'm actually going to vote yes on this? How does that all work?
Well, there's certainly always a lot of conversation between the members as people are evaluating what they think's right for their district and their communities. And, I spoke with the leadership and, let them know what I had arrived at and what kind of vote I was going to cast. But people arrive at different conclusions. For me, I thought this bipartisan agreement made some progress, not enough progress. But I've spent most of my career, both in the state legislature and now my first year in Congress, trying to foster bipartisanship. And I think, we got a bipartisan solution out of this shutdown. Let's get a bipartisan solution on healthcare in the next 6 days. And, we made progress this morning. We got an actual letter signed by Republicans and Democrats in the House to the Senate saying we need to get something done by the end of the year. So I think we're already making progress. And most importantly, we've protected the American people from being treated as pawns in this kind of political game.
Curious, had you heard from constituents on both sides and ultimately decided that you were better served voting yes as more of your constituents felt that way?
Yeah, I'd heard from a lot of people that were concerned about what's happening in our food banks, veterans concerned, small business owners concerned about not being able to access resources at the SBA. But most importantly, it was just the fact that the president wouldn't even follow a court order to use emergency funds to, feed families, just struck me as immoral. And frankly, somebody had to be an adult in the room and say enough of that. Let's protect these folks. Let's keep the argument going on healthcare. And I intend to do that. In no way am I standing down on. I actually introduced the bill this summer to repeal the Medicaid cuts, to permanently extend the tax credits. I hope we can find some kind of an agreement that Republicans can sign on to and actually make sure we're protecting people's healthcare.
Republicans have suggested that those who voted no weren't being adults in the room. Would you agree with that?
No, I think people arrive at their own conclusions. And I think what's happening with healthcare in this country is deeply disturbing. What happened during this shutdown across the board was deeply disturbing. So I don't begrudge any of my Democrat colleagues who arrived at the conclusion that, these folks aren't dealing in good faith and I just can't support this. I'm doing my best to create space for bipartisanship. I think the only lasting policy solutions in this country in history have been bipartisan. And most importantly, I think we have an obligation at the end of the day not to win an argument, but actually to fix problems for the American people. That's what we're elected to do.
Congressman Adam Gray, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining the show.
Thanks so much. Nice.